A civilization persisting for over 2,000 years is thought of as the cradle of Western civilization. Rome, with its many great philosophers and poets, Quintilian, Ovid, Catullus, Sulpicia, and the Emperor Marcus Aurelius, are credited as the root of modern thought and wisdom. Marcus Fabius Quintilian, a scholar and rhetorician in ancient Rome and Spain, wrote instructions for schooling and raising boys to be orators. An orator is one who not only speaks with clarity, but also has a good sense of morality. He wrote a text called Institutes of Oratory, which discusses when and how boys were to be educated. Quintilian wrote this paper after 20 years of teaching the Roman elite, including Pliny the Younger. The Institutes discusses the importance of an early education for boys only.
Let a father, then, as soon as his son is born, conceive first of all the best possible hopes of him, for he will thus grow the more solicitous about his improvement from the very beginning.
Early childhood education and training begin as soon as the son wailed with his first breath of life. Thus, the boy becomes interested in schooling and learning. Quintilian said nurses, being an integral part of the child's early upbringing, should not be ungrammatical in their speech. To be a great orator, one must have a mastery of the language. Learning of language begins at an early age. The boy's nurse should be educated because
it is their words that he will try to form by imitation.
These guidelines for early childhood were given as a backbone for the rest of the boy's life and the foundation for the remainder of their schooling. His writings reflect the Roman idea that the mind came from the gods, and men were meant to put their understanding of the world to good use.
Some have thought that boys, as long as they are under 7 years of age, should not be set to learn, because that is the earliest age that he can understand what is taught, and endure the labor of learning. And why should not that age, which is now confessedly subject to moral influence, be under the influence of learning?
Quintilian strived to change the views on education and encourage a lifetime of motivated learning. He wrote that more learning should begin before the age of 7, because the years before then are the utmost importance to begin understanding the world.
For it will be necessary, above all things, to take care lest the child should conceive a dislike to the application which he cannot yet love, and continue to dread the bitterness which he has once tasted, even beyond the years of infancy.
He bid the instructor to make learning exciting for the boy, so that he will be interested and want to study more. These values go against the Roman ideals of traditional education at the time, which made some of Quintilian's writing controversial. Some of his teachings were adopted into the scholarship of the period, and others were too controversial to be commonly practiced. His influence fluctuated throughout the eras. This book displays the differing ideas and belief systems of childhood and education in ancient Rome.